at Havana, a city of vibrant chaos. Sun-drenched streets pulsed with life. Vintage cars painted in hues of turquoise and flamingo pink rumbled down cobblestone streets. Colonial buildings, weathered yet proud, stood sentinel over the intoxicating rhythm of the city. The sea shimmered, a canvas of gold and fiery orange. And within its vibrant embrace, Alejandro was the ultimate temptation. Alejandro moved through the crowd like a force of nature. His steps were confident, his smile dazzling.
Hey, my friend, tonight is ours.
Women, their eyes sparkling with admiration, gravitated towards him. He moved with the grace of a skilled dancer, his body a symphony of strength and sensuality. For him, love was a game, and he was the undisputed champion. But even a heart as seasoned as Alejandro's could be stirred.
Who is she?
She sat alone, a solitary figure in a sea of seeking souls. Her beauty was understated, her dark hair cascading down her back like a silken waterfall. This dark-haired woman, with her quiet grace and air of mystery, intrigued him. Night falls over Havana. Music spills onto the streets, a seductive invitation to lose oneself in the rhythm of the night. Club Havana, a haven of shadows and sinuous movement, throbs with life.
Ah, another beautiful night.
At the bar, Alejandro holds court, a half-smile playing on his lips. Women, their eyes sparkling with desire, surround him.
My love, there is enough of me to go around. He moves with a grace that belies his powerful build, his hand resting lightly on the small of her back.
So her body, pressed close to his, responds to his every touch, but even as he whispers compliments in her ear, his eyes scan the room.
Whispers follow him like shadows.
He craves a challenge, a heart that doesn't surrender so easily to his charms.
And then he sees her. Across the room, bathed in the soft glow of a lamp, sits a woman unlike any other.
She seems oblivious to the music, the heat, the longing glances that follow her every move. He watches her, mesmerized, his usual confidence momentarily forgotten.
Who is this woman who seems immune to his charms?
The night deepens, but Alejandro's gaze remains fixed on the woman across the room. Her indifference is a challenge, a puzzle he is determined to solve.
He weaves through the dancing couples, ignoring the lingering touches.
Alejandro reaches her table just as she closes her book and rises to leave. Disappointment pricks at him, sharp and unexpected.
Leaving so soon? The night is young. Surely you can spare a dance. She pauses, her gaze sweeping over him with cool appraisal.
And what makes you think I'm interested in dancing, let alone with you?
Her voice is low and melodic, with a hint of something unyielding beneath its surface. Alejandro finds himself captivated, drawn to her even as she rebuffs him.
He leans closer, inhaling the subtle scent of jasmine that clings to her skin.
Intrigue is a dangerous game, senor. One not meant for the faint of heart.
And with that, she turns and disappears into the throng of dancers. He watches her go, his heart pounding a rhythm that has nothing to do with the salsa music. The hunt has begun. Days turned into nights, each one a kaleidoscope of vibrant colors, intoxicating music and fleeting encounters. But Alejandro found himself haunted by the memory of the woman from the club.
He frequented the same cafes, the same plazas, the same haunts she might grace with her presence. He saw her face in the faces of strangers, his heart leaping with a hope that quickly turned to ashes.
The thrill of the chase had lost its allure, replaced by a longing that he couldn't shake off. He became a man obsessed, his usual charm replaced by a quiet intensity.
What has bewitched you, amigo?
But Alejandro had no answers, only a growing need to unravel the mystery that consumed him. He learned her name, Isabella, a whisper on the lips of a street artist who had captured her likeness in a charcoal sketch. Each piece of information, each fleeting detail only deepened his fascination. One sultry evening, Alejandro found himself drawn to a small cafe tucked away in a quiet corner of old Havana.
She was even more captivating up close, her beauty radiating from within.
He took a seat at a table near the back, his gaze sweeping over the room, and then he saw her, Isabella. She sat alone at a table by the window, a sketchbook open in front of her. Alejandro watched her mesmerized, his heart pounding a wild rhythm against his ribs. He realized that to truly capture her attention, he needed to speak her language, the language of art, of passion, of the soul. The encounter at the cafe left Alejandro restless and intrigued.
My usual routines felt empty.
He found himself wandering the cobblestone streets of Havana, his thoughts consumed by the woman who had dared to defy him. Gone were the late nights spent in a haze of rum and fleeting encounters. He traded the smoky ambience of nightclubs for the hushed quiet of art galleries. He sought out her paintings, marveling at the way her brushstrokes captured the soul of Havana. Word spread through Havana like wildfire. Alejandro, the notorious charmer, had been captivated.
Have you heard? Alejandro is smitten with a simple artist. Don't be ridiculous. It's just another conquest.
The whispers reached Alejandro's ears, fueling his determination to prove them wrong. He knew his past painted a picture of a man who lived for the moment. But Isabella had awakened something within him, a longing for something more than fleeting pleasure. He sought her out, determined to break down the walls she had so carefully erected around her heart.
Isabella, he said softly.
She startled, her brush halting mid-stroke.
Alejandro, she acknowledged. To what do I owe the pleasure?
I wanted to see you, he said simply.
A flicker of something akin to surprise crossed her features.
How flattering. But I'm afraid I'm rather busy at the moment.
Isabella, I know my reputation precedes me.
And what do people say about you, Alejandro?
With you, Isabella, I believe I could prove them all wrong.
The air hung heavy with unspoken words, the scent of jasmine and the salty tang of the sea mingling in the twilight. The city of Havana seemed to hold its breath, as if it too were waiting for the moment to unfold. Isabella studied Alejandro, her dark eyes searching his face, as if trying to decipher the truth hidden beneath his charming facade. She could sense the turmoil within him, the battle between his heart and his mind. He stood before her, stripped bare of his usual confidence, his heart pounding a wild rhythm against his ribs. The vulnerability in his eyes was a stark contrast to the man she thought she knew.
You want to prove them wrong? She finally asked, her voice barely a whisper. Why? What drives you to take such a risk? Why would you, a man who could have any woman he desires, risk his reputation, his heart, for someone like me? What makes me so different?
He reached out, his fingers tracing the delicate line of her jaw, marveling at the smoothness of her skin, the way her pulse quickened beneath his touch. It was a moment of pure connection, untainted by pretense.
Because, he breathed, his voice husky with emotion. You're not like any other woman I've ever met. You challenge me, make me want to be a better man. You see through my charm, my swagger, to the man I hide beneath. You see the real me, and that terrifies and excites me all at once.
He leaned closer, their bodies almost touching, the heat of her presence setting his soul on fire. The world around them faded, leaving only the two of them in that charged moment.
I know I've lived a life of fleeting pleasures, of empty conquests, he confessed, his voice laced with regret. But those days are behind me now. But with you, Isabella, I want something more. I want a future, a life filled with meaning and love. I want to earn your trust, your respect, your love. I want to be the man you deserve.
Isabella stepped back, breaking the spell that held them captive. She looked away, her gaze fixed on the vibrant canvas before her, her emotions hidden behind a mask of composure. Alejandro watched her, his heart sinking with each passing second. He knew that winning her over wouldn't be easy. He had a lifetime of bad habits to break, a reputation that preceded him like a dark cloud.
Words are easy, Alejandro. Actions speak louder.
He straightened, his resolve solidifying.
Tell me what to do, Isabella. Give me a chance to prove that I'm not the man you think I am.
She turned back to him, her eyes locking with his, a flicker of challenge dancing in their depths.
Very well, Alejandro. Show me you're serious. Show me you can be patient, respectful, selfless. Show me you're willing to put my needs before your own.
And so began Alejandro's transformation. It was a journey that would take him through the vibrant streets of Havana, a city that seemed to pulse with life and color at every corner. He became a fixture at Isabella's side, accompanying her on her artistic explorations of Havana. Together they wandered through bustling markets and quiet alleys, their bond growing stronger with each shared experience. He carried her easel and paints, his strong hands gentle as he helped her set up her canvases in the most picturesque corners of the city. Each stroke of her brush seemed to capture the essence of their evolving relationship. He listened intently as she spoke about her work, her passions, her dreams, his heart swelling with a tenderness he had never known before. Her words painted a picture of a future he had never dared to dream of. He resisted the urge to shower her with extravagant gifts, knowing that she valued sincerity over material possessions. Instead, he sought to show his love through thoughtful gestures that spoke volumes. Instead, he brought her small tokens of his affection, a single red rose plucked from a garden, a symbol of his growing love and admiration, a cup of her favorite coffee from a hidden cafe, a place they had discovered together, making it their own little secret. A seashell he found on the beach, its surface polished smooth by the waves. Each gift was a piece of his heart, offered with genuine affection. He introduced her to his favorite haunts, not the bustling nightclubs and smoky cantinas of his past, but the hidden gems of Havana, places that held special meaning to him. But the hidden gems of Havana, a rooftop garden with breathtaking views of the city where they could escape the world and dream together. A dusty bookstore filled with forgotten treasures, where they spent hours lost in the pages of old books, sharing their favorite stories and discovering new ones. A family-run restaurant where the food was as warm and inviting as the laughter that filled the air. These moments became the fabric of their shared life, each one a thread in the tapestry of their love. With each passing day, Alejandro felt himself changing, shedding the layers of cynicism and indifference that had become his armor against the world. He was becoming someone new, someone better. He was no longer the Alejandro who captivated with a smile and a wink, but a man striving to be worthy of the love that blossomed in his heart. He wanted to be the man Isabella saw in him. But even as he basked in the warmth of Isabella's presence, a shadow loomed on the horizon. The past he had tried so hard to leave behind was not so easily forgotten. The whispers of his past, the ghosts of his former lovers, threatened to unravel the fragile tapestry of trust he had woven. He knew that to truly move forward, he would have to confront these ghosts and lay them to rest. Alejandro, once a man who lived on the surface of pleasure, now found himself wrestling with the depths of his past. Every stolen kiss, every whispered promise he'd offered and abandoned, now returned as specters, haunting his pursuit of Isabella's heart. One evening, as they strolled through a plaza bathed in the golden glow of sunset, a chill wind seemed to whip through the air, carrying with it a familiar voice. A woman, her beauty as sharp and dangerous as a shard of glass, emerged from the shadows, her eyes blazing with a mixture of fury and heartbreak.
Alejandro, I should have known better than to believe a man like you could change.
Isabella froze, her hand tightening on Alejandro's arm. He felt a surge of protectiveness, but also a sickening dread. The past he had tried so desperately to outrun had finally caught up with him.
Isabella, my love, let me explain.
But she silenced him with a raised hand, her expression a mixture of pain and disbelief.
Explain what, Alejandro? That the rumors are true? That I'm just another conquest, another notch on your bedpost?
The woman, her anger momentarily forgotten, looked at Isabella with a mixture of pity and scorn. Her eyes, once filled with fury, now softened, revealing a complex web of emotions that even she struggled to understand.
He's a master of deception, my dear. You must be careful. He'll charm you with his words, seduce you with his touch, and then leave you with nothing but a broken heart. Trust me, I've seen it happen too many times.
Alejandro felt a surge of anger, not at the woman's words, but at the truth they held. It was a truth he could not deny, a truth that gnawed at his conscience. He had been that man, the one who played with hearts as easily as he rolled dice in a back-alley game. The memories of his past misdeeds haunted him, each one a ghost that refused to be laid to rest. He turned to Isabella, his heart pounding in his chest. The weight of his past actions bore down on him, making it hard to breathe.
Isabella, please, don't believe her. You have to trust me. Everything I've said to you, everything I feel for you, it's real. I swear it. I've changed because of you. You've made me a better man.
But the doubt was already sown, a seed of poison in the fertile ground of her heart. It grew with every passing second, fueled by the uncertainty that clouded her mind. She looked at him, her eyes filled with a mixture of emotions he couldn't decipher. Love, doubt, fear, they all swirled together, creating a storm within her.
Alejandro, I want to believe you. I really do. But how can I, when your past is filled with so many broken promises? How can I trust that you've truly changed?
And with that she turned and walked away, her silhouette fading into the vibrant tapestry of Havana's twilight. Each step she took felt like a dagger to Alejandro's heart. Alejandro watched her go, his heart a lead weight in his chest. He stood there, rooted to the spot, unable to move or call out to her. The sun, a fiery ball of orange and red, dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the city, mirroring the darkness that had descended upon his soul. The vibrant colors of the sunset seemed to mock his despair. He had gambled everything on winning Isabella's love, and now, as the last rays of sunlight faded from the sky, he was left wondering if he had just lost his last hand. The weight of his regrets pressed heavily upon him, leaving him in a state of desolation.